folks, welcome on in to the KQEG TV 7 Rivers Racing Show. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi. Race season is up and going. It's been fantastic starts all the way around so far. We cover La Crosse, Tomah, Wisconsin Dells, Fountain City. Had a great conversation a couple of weeks back with Bob Tim and the great things they've got going on at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and that is a lost gem. I'll tell you what, if you've not been up to Fountain City and you want to see some good dirt racing.
Oh, that's for sure. I know my kids love going up there. When I say kids, they're in their 20s, but they usually get a carload of people and head on up there and sure enjoy it on a Friday night before going out to La Crosse.
Well, today we're going to set aside the program from driver interviews and things going on at all the local racetracks. Again, you can watch the videos on youtube.com/7riversracing, and I'm really enjoying the emails on facebook.com/7riversracing as well. We are going to step back in time today, and we're going to show you different aspects of racing in western Wisconsin like it used to be all the way up to current day. And Al, our special guest today, has brought tons of racing with him.
Anybody who knows about history, or if you've been a driver, you've been a promoter, you've been a racetrack owner, you definitely know our guest today. He runs the racer reunions every year out at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. He promotes racing teams. He promotes the racetracks. He's even raced. He's been in the car, I believe, back in the 1980s. So he's raced against Marv Marzofka, Dick Trickle, Dave Marcus, I believe. Our guest is Dale Danielski.
Well, you threw that Marcus one in there. I don't know if I'm that old, but yes, I actually do have that resume. So pleased to be here. And I guess with all that, I've kind of been the appointed the historian when it comes to auto racing. So here we are. We'll hopefully it'll be an entertaining show.
What we're going to do today, folks, is we're going to run video here in about 2 seconds, and it's going to be nothing but pictures and highlights and video on the entire show tonight to show you everything Dale has done back from the 1900s all the way up to present day. Not himself, because he's still got quite a bit of hair on the chin there. He's as young as we are. Yeah. But we're going to start rolling some tape, and we're going to let Dale take the program over today, and you'll hear from Al and I and little tidbits throughout the program. You're going to take us all the way back to racing in La Crosse in the 1900s.
That's correct. Actually, it's well documented. Well, I shouldn't say well documented in the 1900s, but we do know that events, and they're probably a little more than exhibitions, were held as early as in the 1900s here in the La Crosse area. And it is documented in the 1930s that racing took place. Although with the World War II coming on, a lot changed. People didn't have money. You know, this wasn't what went on. But finally, after World War II, the first huge event was held, and it happened to be on French Island, September 3rd, 1950.
And that's the video.
And that's the action you're seeing right there. They carved out a track out of the Richmond farm. That's actually the Richmond's family was in that area and owned a lot of land, and here they carved out this track that they went racing on.
And believe it or not, one of those cars looks like Greg Shuck's car from just a couple of years ago at La Crosse.
And that's true. I mean, you know, you're looking at 30s vintage cars, and literally they were from off the road. You could do very little with them to make them race ready and competitive.
Look how rough they're driving. You talk about drivers that are spent after getting out of their car at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Try driving around that track one or too many times.
And that racetrack was located out by the airport where a water treatment plant is currently.
Actually, at one time it was supposed to be a fish hatchery. It's a science center now, geology
right,
or whatever. They're studying something there, but yes.
By the older part of the airport.
Exactly. And it was probably a third mile in length, quarter mile, and literally carved out of a cornfield, and as you can see, very rough. So it was kind of an inauspicious beginning, yet it was huge. They had 6,000 people at that event.
That's a lot of people.
And it was just, it really kicked things off in terms of the racing in this area.
And right at the end of that video clip was the newspaper clip of, there it is, Bob Krismer, and the newspaper clip of the winning stock car winning the top prize back then. And we've got some more video coming up. What do we got here?
Actually, this would have then been the next track to get rolling in our area. This was the La Crosse Speedway, located on the south side of La Crosse. Actually, it's very close to where the ski hill currently is. And this is action from the south side track.
And when Dale told me about this, he told me that the track is basically still there. And I went out there, I took my boys out there, and you can sit up on the hill and you can see where the people sat. You can see where it was carved out. It's definitely overgrown. You can see the trees that went down the back straightaway.
And look at some of the infill berm there is just tires. And if you look at the advancements from back in the day to nowadays is just huge. I mean, you have no safety out there whatsoever.
Well, believe it or not, this is already somewhat of an evolution going on compared to that first event on French Island. Tracks we're seeing, or I should say folks, potential promoters, we're starting to see that this could be a viable event to hold. So this track was actually built for that reason. A fellow by the name of Don Friday got the idea that, hey, let's hold racing events. And it was catching on with that first event. So this was your second track in the area to open as a result.
Our guest today, Dale Danielski, Starmaker Media. He's the one that's brought all of this famous history to our program today. The entire program is nothing but video and old photography up until nowadays of racing. We're going to get right back to some of the other fantastic video. We're going to have the opening of the Westby track, some things in Cashton, La Crosse Fairground Speedway, where it is, and you're only going to find a huge compilation like this on the Seven Rivers Racing Show right here on KQEG TV.